Hey there, welcome back to another episode of the Dust2 Project. Today we're going to be doing upper tons, and I also have just a little bit of this already laid out. I already know sort of how it's going to go. Like, for example, this needs to come out to about the middle, right about here. This needs to come back a little on this side. Just the general sort of tiny bit of measurements, but I need to figure out the size of the room first. The size of the room's pretty important for pretty much everything because I need to figure out the size of the room so I can do all of the other measurements, which are pretty important, honestly, because they're the room measurements. And I think we're going to go out to maybe here. And maybe like here, bring it straight across since this is the corner of the room. There's a lot more space in the rest of the room. I'm just going to use this as its baseline. So then we bring it across here like this. And this goes all the way across, pretty much, just all the way. B tons, upper tons is a very big area, very big area. So that's what we're trying to sort of emulate in a sense here. It's the feeling of it being extremely big, like a very big area. So that needs to also, these need to be replaced. This one, that one, sort of replaced. We'll fix you in a second. These, and yeah, all of these. These need to get replaced, right, like this. Boom, 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 boom. Now, because I'm doing it like this, there is something in B-tons where they have the decoration blocks, the white and blue decoration blocks, but how I'm doing it now sort of doesn't line up very well with how they do it in game. There's parts in tons that for the texture that lines up with the rest of it. So for example, let's do this and I'll show you. So this goes all the way around in one long, nice strip. But in tons, it sort of feels into tons. It sort of slips into tons and has this texture. But above this texture in tons, it has the other texture. And I can't do that if I want to keep the feeling that the texture is still just a straight, flat texture in the area. So I think I'm going to have to compromise and just say that it's just going to be like this. It's just going to have this one little strip of blue instead of being all blue, because then it would be really low and it wouldn't be flat texture-wise with the rest of the room, and I just couldn't deal with that in a sense. And yeah, I couldn't deal with that in a sense, just because I'm going for accuracy. Once again, like everyone should know, I'm going for accuracy in this, and accuracy means getting it, pretty much exactly perfect. So there's going to be things that they can do in game, and I can't do in here without changing a lot of stuff. So it's going to have to be sort of like a 50-50 toss-up. Also, over here-ish, around here, there's this, and then there's a curve here that comes out to here. So for right now, I'm going to bring it like this. I really think that's a weird measurement, like a very weird measurement to have. So I'm just going to do it like this for the moment here, and then bring this one across, and then I'll bring it up one, and then I will sort of figure out the curve that it has myself. So there we go. There's the blue. Then let's get the rest of it to have its, let's see, grab this. Now, I really wish there was a swapper wand in this. After playing around with the swapper wand in the Pioneers, this doesn't have one, and that sort of upsets me because, like, hold on, let's see. Swap. Yeah, no, there's nothing to, like, specifically swap a couple pairs of blocks. That sort of upsets me because it would be a really handy tool. especially for, you know, something like this, something what I'm doing, because I could swap out major portions of blocks. I wouldn't have to worry if I'm using like the wrong block type or anything. I could just build and then swap out the block type, and honestly that'd be life-saving. But I don't want to add my own mods because it's the StudTech mod pack, and that would sort of defeat the purpose of going like, hey, I have to make a mod pack, or I have to make a map in sort of the confines of a older mod pack. But and plus I think the too many mods or too many wands mod is a specifically 1.8.9 thing, which again would sort of defeat the purpose. Okay, so that, bring these all the way around, like this, like so. And then normal sandstone, and then we'll bring it down, and then I will sort of take a moment off camera and fill in a couple of the blank spots and figure out the size and spacing of the room just a little bit more, just so we can have a more accurate room. Yeah, like this. So I will be right back. I'm going to figure out the spacing because obviously this is a little bit too big over here, just a little bit. So I will be right back in just a second. Alright, so this is the general shape and size of tons. I wish I could sort of push this wall back one, just because this feels really tight. But it'll probably work out pretty well. I changed out the floor textures. I don't like this texture for the stairs, so I'll change that. I added these up here. They're just a little bit of a sculpture block for a lining that goes all the way around. Well, not all the way around. It sort of gets here, and then to here, and then I think along the this part, this curve. Let's see. There are windows here, and they're giant, massive pillars. That are also here, and the massive pillars are stupid. They're sort of weird. I'm not gonna lie, they're a bit weird. They're a bit stupid, and yeah. So you know the pillars that I did down here last episode, these ones. Imagine these, but like 3 times bigger. Yeah, so that's why I'm not that excited to do them all that much. Let's see. Boop boop. Get those together, and then, hold on, we need boxes, we need a whole bunch of boxes. Okay, if it would let me place boxes, that would be good. Just like this. Okay, please, hello, hello. Okay, as long as I can't open you, I'll be fine. Yeah, there we go. And then over on this side, boom, boom, like this, boop, boop. And next to it is probably just more like this, just another like 2. Like there's a lot of boxes in this area. Maybe too many actually. Like maybe there will be too many boxes. Like if we just go like this, fill that area in, sort of like how it's supposed to be. Yeah, let's cut this, sort of like this. Let's move these forward like they're supposed to be. Like this. Right, cut this out by like 2, move these forward, boom, 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 boom. Okay, so this back here, this part over here was a little bit too big. No worries, that is what editing and building is for. Always making mistakes, always changing them, always making them for the better. So this area was a little bit too big, just because there was too much space to be used. So there we go. Now it's a bit more accurate. There we go. And then, of course, I'll just get rid of this off camera, but just, there we go. So yeah, that's how that's supposed to look. There's, I think, a little bit of a symbol here that goes into sight. Yep, there is. I keep tapping out because I have my reference screenshots open. So there's a pillar here-ish. Let's see. There is, yeah, one sort of here-ish. There's another one here, and here, and here, and one over here, and then here, and here. So I'm going to end up going to do those off camera. But for right now, let's see what I can actually do. For right now, here's what I can do. So if we come out here, we can grab ourselves some marble strips and stuff like this, and we can, oops, well, I didn't actually grab the marble strips because block replacement in the inventory. Okay, marble strips, and then there's supposed to be something around here, so right next to it should be about here, and right up here there is some scaffolding that goes all the way up, sort of like this. How big is it? I'm gonna say another one-ish block, just like this, and then it goes across to this side, so all the way on this side it's going to go up as well. So about maybe this tall for right now. I think that might be fine. So this broke that. So then it needs its rungs like this. All of them apparently just have a whole bunch of rungs. So like this, and I'll fix them if they're not even, obviously. Let's see. This one needs to go down. And other than that, I think they're even. Yeah, let's bring it up like 2 actually. Just because that's a bit too low for my taste. Needs to be a bit higher. Just feels like it needs to be a bit higher. And then maybe like straight across here, there's supposed to be a beam. This beam that goes straight across like this on top of it. I hope this is sort of the proper. Okay, yeah, one down. Let's take these. Boom, 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 boom. Lower them by 1 so they're on the proper block like this, and then I can sort of cheat nicely. Ugh. Okay, so those are in the wrong spot. Note to self, change that off camera while doing the Yigamo Chatel's pillars. So like that. Then across here, there's sort of just a box, like just a normal little box. Let's, just for supports, let's add a little bit of beams going across here. Boom, boom, boom. And that's sort of that. That's sort of supposed to be there. Although this is accentuated a tiny bit by something that comes across here like this. Like another little scaffolding box just below the other scaffolding box like this. Boom, boom. Let's fill it up with its sort of pillars that go like this, that matches up. And then we have our scaffolding. Yeah, then we have our scaffolding. Our scaffolding looks pretty good. Alright, so now it's time for me to do those pillars. And yeah, then I will be right back. I think I might maybe even do the windows. But I'll probably do something for something. I might do a time lapse of the pillars and the windows, and then I'll be back. Something like that. Something for a little bit of compromise. So I'll be back in 1 second. So I think that's going to be it for this episode. We got B tons done. I moved this over. I'm gonna have to figure out something for this because it's not exactly how it looks in the screenshot. This is more where it's supposed to be, but this sort of has a thing that sticks out here, and I think I might just leave it like that. I added in the windows in the time lapse. I don't like these that much. I will probably have to make them bigger, so I will compromise on that, make them I think too wide, or maybe just use a 4x4 space, or actually yeah, just too wide so I can keep symmetry going. But I added in the little windows, or the little window things that go in here. They look decent, but again, they need to be like just a little bit bigger, maybe a bit more detail, less like gray blobs that just sort of sit here. And off camera, like I did for lower tons, I'm going to add the arches. Speaking of the arches, let's show you the ones in lower tons. So here are the arches in lower tons that I did, and oh, it seems that one broke a little bit. Okay, yeah, Yigemo Chatel sort of does that sometimes, where if I don't double check that they're all there, sometimes they will just reset themselves, and it seems like this one reset itself. No big deal. But yeah, these are the arches that I put into lower tons. So lower tons is fully complete. I added in a little bit of the palette things that are supposed to be here. That's supposed to be there. So yeah, lower tons. And oh yeah, I have to change the stair textures. It bothers me. It doesn't look that good. It looks bad. So yeah, this is upper tons. And also, there is a box here that I almost neglected. And sort of like that. So we'll just leave it like that. And yeah, you're supposed to be able to sit here and with your gun and look down into lower tons and defend lower tons. But this is this for this episode. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you in the next video. Remember, stay fancy and peace out. Bye-bye.